always watching out for you. This is a First Alert 5 weather alert.
Well, hi everybody. I wanted to go weather alert today for our flooding potential that I'm going to be watching the mountains with. So we do have a lot of rain out there already, seeing that in the western slope into the central mountains, but more of that rain is going to be trying to come to our mountains into the southern Sangres, and eventually tonight should get some rain out east. This kind of helps tell the story, I think. In the yellows, the slight risk, that's where some of the heavier rain is forecast to fall, and it's actually pretty good looking when we look out west. Radar is going to be coming up just a little bit, but I've had a lot of people asking me like, all right, this haze, like, can we get it out of the way? Are we going to get a little bit of relief going into Labor Day weekend? Well, I'm hopeful at least we get a few days coming into the end of the week where that happens. And I think tonight through tomorrow morning is the start of that. Not only is it a better wind direction, more so out of the south where there's no fires, we're going to have that rain over the mountains kind of physically help clear the skies out by raining some of that smoke out of the atmosphere. But it is smoky out there and it's kind of cloudy too. Pretty dry air in Colorado Springs, so challenging to get rain to come on down, but we do have this evening, so maybe we can boost some of the moisture until that happens. Pueblo, it's 84, so actually both cities are fairly similar temperature-wise. We know that over the next hour, Pueblo, we should get closer to those upper 80s. We'll stay in the 90s through the mid-afternoon. Cloud cover comes in, and then my hope is that we can get some rain, I would say after 6 o'clock, kind of any time between 7 to 11 o'clock at night, which I know if you're going to the fair tonight, that could get in the way, but we really need the moisture. It is hot out there, 80s on the interstate, Trinidad a little warmer than Springs and Pueblo, but a lot hotter east, and then some 70s and 60s kind of mix in and around the mountains to our west. Denver's at 83. So let's talk about what's going on. This is kind of a late season monsoon flow. So monsoon season is typically towards the hotter months in July and into August. And a lot of times it comes from this big heat dome a little farther east that'll sweep moisture up from the south. Now we're getting that today. It's just a little later than we normally get it because it's September 1st. Western Colorado is doing very well with this moisture. When we take a closer look here, there's some weak returns off the radar in the northern San Luis Valley coming off the Lagaritas, but some of the best rain is without a doubt these deeper colors riding up the western edge of the San Juans, and that should push up through Grand Junction. Western Colorado is hurting the most for rain, so this is a really good sign. Here at home locally, we may scrape the southern mountains, the Sangre de Cristos, or even the wet mountains with a couple stray storms this afternoon. But the bulk of our rain, I think, is going to be more so tonight. Because if you look at 6 o'clock, there's a few scattered storms and showers out there, probably not really in Pueblo. That's more the wet mountains, the southern mountains, maybe something up towards the Pikes Peak region. But between like 7 to 10 o'clock, there's a couple embedded storms in there, but there's really just more widespread rain, and that does seem to leave the mountains and push through the interstate even past midnight. So if you're up early tomorrow morning, some of you may have some wet sidewalks, wet pavement out there still. We're going to hang out in the lower 80s through the rest of this week, so we do get a little cool down here, but we have a couple more rain chances. Tomorrow's an okay one. Thursday and Friday, those storm chances are a little bit weaker. There's going to be less moisture to work with over the next few days, and it does look a little hot towards the start of next week. Harder to get above 90 the deeper we go into September, but we can still do it all the way out towards the end of the month. In Pueblo, I still have the State Fair icons there, so you can ignore those. We have the State Fair going through the rest of the forecast here, but we've got weaker rain chances through time, and then it's going to be hot again next week. Canyon City, not a whole lot of change here. We've got storm chances in place the next few days. Today's rain's probably going to be mostly into this evening. And then finally we go to Woodland Park. Not a whole lot more different here than Colorado Springs, where we see these more storm chances through time, and we're a little warmer into the start of next week. Renee?
All right.